Hello friends, and welcome back for yet another season of Alliance War. So after our poor finish last season, you can see we're stuck in Tier 4, which does not bode well already at the start of the season. Today we're taking on these guys. Now this is an interesting situation because these guys, as you'll see in a moment, finished Bronze 2 last season, and I'm sure there's an excellent explanation for this, and that they're not at all a Shell Alliance. So, alright, we're going in today with a different trio than normal. We're going to go with Void and Warlock and Symbiote Supreme, as we have some heavy cosmic champs on our path today. Let's get started. Alright, so first up we have a Venom, unduped R4 on long distance relationship, and the buffet link is up. So do my teammate on path 7 a solid here and take down, I forget what the outgoing link is. I think is it Masochism maybe? Either way. Now, this fight, I remember it being one of the most cooperative Venoms I've fought in quite some time. So typically Venom, an extremely aggressive AI profile, not always willing to throw his special one. Typically Venom will attack into you 4 or 5 times and make you dex 4 or 5 times. And then before you know it, you're against the wall. And you're stuck because he won't throw a special. Then you're forced to push him over 2 bars and then taking a bunch of block damage or a bunch of actual damage, taking that special too. So this Venom wasn't the case. He's attacking only a couple times, plus I was able to parry, which is great. And Buffet kills him there at the end with 1 dex. So pretty easy fight. I successfully did not die again in our first fight of the season. Alright, mini bosses, nothing for me today. Up on Tier 2, this is a Vision Aarkus on, I think I'll check the nodes here. So I'm still not used to the lower tier map yet. I'm used to the Tier 1, 2, 3 map. I think this is Masochism. Now, Vision is unduped here, so he doesn't have the Tenacity ability active. And he's only an R1. So really the danger here is if you don't have a way to control his power gain, you're going to be in trouble. I did some duels to test this with Void before I came into this war, actually, because I wanted to know if I could leave Symbiote Supreme at home or if I really did need him for this fight. And I couldn't find an unduped Aarkus to duel, so I just went with the safe route and went with Symbiote Supreme just to completely manage the power gain. So, 20 hits in, we've hit our first SP3. This Vision I don't think was very cooperative with his special attacks, and I think I end up wasting out this whole phase here. Or maybe I'm thinking of a different one. Actually, I'm thinking of a later fight. My bad. We'll get to that one. It's not even with Vision. There's an Annihilus later too. All right, so Vision's down. Now we're gonna move up to Cathy Marvel, and I was commenting to my battle group how it's funny how just a couple seasons ago this champion on this node seemed like a fight with very few counters. You pretty much had to bring Symbiote Supreme, or else you were gonna have problems. And now, with the introduction of Warlock, the fight is almost comically easy. So she gets off 1 SP1 as per usual when I do this fight. And then because most people run Willpower for Alliance War, I'm pretty much keeping her constantly power draining and constantly degenning. And I'm kind of playing around that first bar of power. The idea here is to keep damaging her without getting her to another special one. And since I have the ability to parry here, it's pretty much just parry heavy. Get those bleeds working on her. She has Buffet, but the infection handles that, so it's not too much of a deal. Big deal, rather. And down she goes. Easy peasy. Alright, this is an Invisible Woman. What is this? This is Best Defense and Buffet and Empowered Immunity. So really the only thing you got to worry about here is Buffet. We're going to go in here with Void. One of the great things about fighting Invisible Woman is that she kind of places these random debuffs on you throughout the fight, non-damaging debuffs like the exhaustions and the vulnerability debuffs. So it's really easy, even if you take a couple hits versus her, it's easy to stay topped up on health if you're running Willpower. as long as you know how to manage the invisibility. Now, on an invisible woman who can be parried, the easiest way to manage the invisibility is to parry her while she's invisible and then hit into her once and back off, and that'll trigger the cooldown timer, and then she'll turn back visible. If she is not stunnable, an easy way to do it is when you're dodging her special one. When she jumps forward to hit you and then she like leaps back. If you hit into her while she's leaping backward, that'll count as a miss, and you'll be safe to back off before she can counterattack you. So, little tip there. All right, so I did take a couple hits early. Just, you know, there's so much to pay attention nowadays, especially with a champ like her. It's easy to miss something. But we healed up from the willpower and finished off with a yellow bar. No problem. Alright, next we're moving up to Boss Island here. We've got an Annihilus on counter tactics and breakthrough. Again, we're going to go in with Symbiote Supreme here. This fight, I expected this to kind of work in my favor. So typically counter tactics, you know, the higher you build up your combo, the more damage you're going to take. But most of the time I screw up an SP1 evade from Annihilus, so I was expecting the damage not to be too bad here, because you know I'd take a hit, maybe like 10 hits in, and reset the combo meter, and then the overall damage wouldn't be that bad. So getting the staggers up, got to remove that cosmic control rod from him, which is pretty much what controls all of his abilities. And then we're trying to get him to throw this special one there. I successfully evade it, which is a rare occurrence for me, and go back in and counter. Alright, now we're going to try and bait out a second SP1. So what I was thinking about before is I think this is a fight where he's being stingy with his specials, so I have to push him over to his special 2, which is dangerous because I don't think it's fully evadable. And if he's got the rod up, then you're almost guaranteed to be obliterated, and then you're in trouble because he's going to go unstoppable when you dash back, etc., etc. So right here, I do have the perfect block. Well, I did. I don't anymore. So right here, there you go. So I took basically no damage from that special 2. And the rod was down, so I kind of lucked out with the timing. I had enough staggers up to keep the rod off, which is nice. I'm going to throw our second SP3 here. Reset all of Symbiote Supreme's blessings. And try and finish this off with some bleed damage here. There we go, back in, and just enough before he throws off his special 2 and Annihilus goes down. Not too bad of a fight, I would say. Alright, last but not least, we have a Namor on recovery and strike back. This is kind of a trap fight for most champions, I think, because if you don't have a way to manage Namor's power gain, specifically during Imperious Rex, then it's likely that you're going to be able to take, or you're going to have to take an SP3. So Void is a good choice for this fight. However, as I recall, the RNG is not in my favor in this fight, and I think the Petrifies are the very last things that I get. So it's kind of a little bit of a race here, trying to get Petrifies up before he maxes out on Outrage and triggers Imperious Rex. So we're being mindful of his power here, trying to push him to his SP2 because it's a little bit easier to dodge, takes up less space in the evade than the SP1 does. And we're only using specials when we have, you know, at least more than a bar of power to give him. So we've got 3 debuffs up, 2 of them unique, no Petrifies yet. He's coming up on 30 Outrage. We finally get our first and then our second Petrify up just in the nick of time. He's at 28, 29 Outrage. Triggers Imperious Rex. There is no power gain thanks to the just-in-time Petrifies. And from here, it's pretty much just, you know, the fight is under control at this point. So I can freely use specials without giving him additional power. His power is going to be constantly draining until it's drained completely from Imperious Rex. He won't get to any specials, but if he did, they would be unblockable. Not a big deal. And just wait until the degen does him in, and there we go. So yeah, overall, a really solid effort for the first war. No items used at all, no deaths. We, of course, did continue our streak of not winning, otherwise known as a losing streak. So it was pretty close. We had a guy leave 40 minutes before matchmaking started, which really kind of screwed us for this war. So we kind of went in expecting not to win. And it was way closer than we thought because the alliance we faced also was running with 29. So not an ideal start to the season for us, of course. But, you know, as I've said a few times before, as long as we finish in the Platinum 3, Platinum 4 area, I'm not going to be upset about, you know, individual wins and losses. Especially since all of the top alliances are tanking now to drop themselves into a bracket where they can get additional Tier 2 Alpha, since everybody's full up on T5B and everybody needs Tier 2 Alpha. Everybody at the top is tanking, so see what happens the rest of the way. So that's about it from here. Click that like button, subscribe if you want to see some more war videos. Hope you like the new thumbnail. I did a little refresh of it. Long overdue this season, so more to come. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.